Alright, welcome everyone to Divine versus Modern Empire Week 7 match. I believe not as deciding as the other matches of today, but nonetheless, Divine, Viper, Victor Lee, obviously the one and only, Black Snake, Prince K, Levy, against Yatila, Alpha Male, Saki Brian, it's Nate and Blaster. So we should be getting going pretty soon for the starting pairs. Levi should be on the bottom and Alpha Male should be on the top when he arrives. And yeah, let's see how it goes. So I just got back from streaming the match that actually just ended 15 minutes ago. And one moment, I have some refereeing thing to deal. Well, still waiting for the Modern Empire starter, and here it is, Alpha. So let's see what he's got in the store for us against Levi. Alright, so we are seeing, I would say probably Blue Eyes from the side of Levi, depending on his skill, Ultimate Dragons. Alright, and 21 cards from Alpha. And passing. Not sure if that's... Well, against Blue Eyes, they don't really have a lot of tools to just OTK on the spot. But going second with the Sage, and if there's any follow-up in the form of a Cards of Consonance there, it should be looking pretty scary. Despite that, Levi still needs to find a way to get up an alternative, which he does have. So no big issues on that. We'll be going into the Spirit Dragon. Now, he did reveal the Blue Eyes, but will there also be a way to summon that Blue Eyes in the form of an Ancient Rules perhaps for a quick OTK, or will he settle on the Spirit Dragon with perhaps a few set cards? There's one. And that will be it. So only that. Has discarded the stone thanks to the consonants, so we'll be getting another Blue Eyes in the end phase. So already, if Alpha Male is actually running 21 cards could either mean Thunder Dragons or Onomats. But with such a good start already from Levi, if you're running Onomats, would be pretty hard to deal with that. Thunder Dragons, on the other hand, have a better chance. So wait and see what there is in store for us. There's a Trinade for the one set, so already feeling confident that it is an Onomat, and probably not the only confident player there. So Alpha Male is already looking for a potential OTK, even with the Spirit Dragon on the field. We have seen a lot of increase in usage in Gagaga Child and Gagaga Tag. So those are two cards that do end up bringing you the win against Blue Eyes. Levy, however, still has quite a few cards in hand to try to come back from that. Reveals the head and reveals the onomatopoeia. Welcome, welcome, Victor Lee. God as the sister. And the onomatopoeia, so already telegraphing that he's got the Zubababancho Gagaga code. Adds the tag as expected, so already probably has the child in hand as well, considering he did add onomatopoeia instead of adding a child, for example. Wind as well, so that's more than actually enough, I would say, to win the game right there. Sister most likely gonna activate the effect or not. Oh, I miscounted the cards actually. There is no way to OTK there, but still quite a good board in this moment to try to deal with the threats set by Spirit. However, Levy still has quite a follow-up for the next turn. There is the Whitestone recycle for the alternative. There is most likely, let me check the dual log again. There is a high potential for an Ultimate Dragon's fusion play. Just it's pretty hard to see how Alpha could come back from that. Even with tag, it's just not enough if you don't have that third, well, not third, but the samurai, the Gaga samurai. Just happen to not have the ideal combination of cards there. Even goes for the Blue Eye summon. Not entirely sure if it's needed in the end, because does burn up one card for the Ultimate Dragons. Let's see. Do you have what we need, Levy? Welcome, welcome everyone. Vic, Rizuya, and other lurkers. There's a lot of games going on right now, so if you want to see more of the Timor's action that is always flourishing on the weekends especially, make sure to check one of the comments out in the bottom left corner of the stream. We have the Timor's Discord. You can use that to join and basically see the main field of activities that we perform within Timor's. There's the Twitter, which you can use and follow to see updates about matches and other important information. And there's the YouTube, which we will be coming up with content at the end of this week. Speaking of content, we have Levy winning his first duel up against Alpha. Let's see if he is able to continue the streak with Blue Eyes as the starter deck. So in the duel earlier that I got to cast with Scorpion, we saw a lot of, not necessarily off-meta decks, but a lot of pairs that just you wouldn't usually see if it even was last week, a last week game. As we know from the meta analysis, Harpies didn't really have the best win rate going up against some decks. A lot of people had there was a common consensus, I would say, that the builds just weren't good enough. But this week, we've already seen quite a few of Harpies making their mark. So just yesterday, Harpies did manage to go 6-1, while today in the earlier game that I casted, I'm unsure about other games, but we can see in the match reports on Discord, we've already seen 4 wins solely from Harpies from a 10-8 scoreline. So just under 20% of the wins were gathered by Harpies. A few weeks ago, you could only see Star Seraph Lords or Blue Eyes, but there's a little more diversity. It's always good to see, especially in a format like Team Wars where diversity flourishes. Speaking of diversity, Alpha setting 1 back row and 1 monster and passing. He is on Zen Truesdale, but are there really any monsters you set in that kind of deck? Probably not really, but what other skills does Zane really have? Hasn't revealed anything at the beginning, unlike Levy, normal summon Sage. Mini saying that Harpies seem to be alright, but Stick and Chair Dark Lords are just too good. That is true. Star Lords do keep up a lot of the good, well, not good, but prior meta decks, I would say, from being better than they should be. While Blue Eyes keeps somewhat Star Lords in check, as well as those decks. But still, Ancient Rules will be used there. I'm assuming, alright, it's not a Dragon Spear of White that he happened to have in the opening hand. Would have been very ideal there to get rid of the unknown back row. For all we know, the back row could actually be something along the lines of a TTH. You never really know, like Alpha Male hasn't revealed any card. So yeah. Slight delay though. Hope the Casey Cup will destroy the meta, just obliterate the whole thing. I mean, yeah. It's a lot of interesting decks to play and face in the upcoming Stage 2. Let us see. So the Synchro Summon will be going through. So now if there's any back row that does target the Spirit, we'll just be able to dodge quickly. And that will be it actually, just the... Oh, is that a Veer? Has been a while since we've seen this card being ran in Cyber Dragons. It's usually a pretty good card, just to be able to extend after your core normal summon and have those 2 materials to get off for the Cyberload fusion. Wasn't the case this time though. Still, at the very least, it's another level for the Overflow. Overflow, not targeting, so Spirit has to change into Azure before the Overflow actually happens, or rather activates. So not in the same chain. Or even if in the same chain, still Azurize has to resolve. So it's pretty rough if that phase down is actually Overflow with only Spirit Pass. Depends if Alpha Male also has the right tools to OTK there. because VR Pass isn't the best showing of an OTK, or rather a hand of OTK. Doesn't normally sound the White Stone of Ancients. Overflow will be the card that he said just the on the third turn. Cannot dodge now with Spirit really. We'll still be going through. Offerings to be changed, so that was the second card to deal with the Azure Eyes. Still though, that skips your battle phase and rather draw phase, and you still don't really have a follow-up to deal even with the Blue Eyes that was summoned off of the Ancients in the previous turn. There's not much hope there for Alpha, I feel like. Just being pretty unlucky with opening cards that you would usually want with a core. Obviously, core, you search the fusion support maybe, or the overflow, considering he did have it on turn 3 instead of turn 1. And then you get the fodder from there and you just pop up from there. But still, another stone. So Livy drawing pretty well, managing to make Spirit Dragon whenever needed. Vermilion Dragon Mech as well, trying to get rid of one back row. Should be pretty careful considering one could be overflow. But at the same time, one of them could probably be something like Drowning. We have seen that card being ran in Cyber Dragons quite a few times. Will be the fusion support though, so not much, and not much it is indeed. It's gonna be a surrender from Alpha Male. So next player from Modern Empire to be coming soon. And yeah, Levi cementing his lead and doing his job as a starter, honestly. Just being able to go two wins, that's enough as the starter. That's your job. You have to get that counter pick advantage for your team. And he did more than just that, because he managed to use just one deck on it. And for all we know, it's not even guaranteed that he loses the next duel, so he could go even further beyond and go 3-0. But Modern Empire does have the advantage with the counter pick just now, as mentioned. They should be looking to send a counter to Blue Eyes. Let me hop into another world maybe while I still have time. So this music is particularly boring, I would say. Let's go into DSOD. Always like it's pretty dramatic. Alright, so HeyZZy will be the next player from Modern Empire to be coming to the table. Let's wait for the duel start, then I'll update the info. HeyZZy. Thank you for the follow, Black Snake. Good to see you there. Levy going second this time, so HeyZZy with Yami Yugi. So that's a Destiny Draw user, and we're already seeing the banishment adding eggshell, so safe to say it's Destiny Draw. Discard the Desire though, that's not a card you often want to discard. Especially depending on your ratios of Dark Lords within your deck. Because some FA Lords have stopped running stuff like Amdusk. Just the regular Star Lords could be running Amdusk. Nonetheless, has the contact for the Eggshell. Would have really loved to discard a second Dark Lord there. That would be summoned off of the contact. Nonetheless, Dark Lord part of the deck has done its job and does end up on Sanctified set. Is there anything else? Perhaps another set card to try to disrupt the Blue Eyes turn. Considering that, alright, a set monster. So we know that Levy runs Ancient Rules. Ancient Rules would be pretty huge there to try to deal with the Eggshell. 2 set cards and pass. So not ideal from Levy-san either. But HeyZZy does have, at the very least, something on the board. Couldn't activate, or rather had no targets for a potential Destiny Draw there. Due to contact being in the grave, no target, banishment having been used earlier. We'll be switching Eggshell to attack. Will he enter the battle phase as well and just go for it? Or will we see something like Stig Normal Summon perhaps? To at least threaten lethal that way. Let's see. Is there anything in there? Anything whatsoever to perhaps extend and have a better follow-up in case Levy does have the stones in the hand to discard off of potential discard traps. We don't know what kind of back row Levy is running. He hasn't shown us thus far. And he chooses to take that attack as well. Alright, there's the Ancient Rules. So that's a Blue Eyes right off the top. So if that is his best play, and that is his best play in this instance, it's not going to be much. We'll be swinging into the face down monster, which is a chair. It's good that he went for the chair there because a stick would have been a rank 4 triple material. Banishment. Let's see. Could be adding Tiz, yeah, adding Tiz there. Try to preserve off your Eggshell and do have another Dark Lord in the grave to revive off the contact. as well as another material for the Sanctified there, so as well, obviously it's triggering Destiny Draw for going for gain, considering that there are two materials in the grave, with Eggshell being the next after a contact, but still triple back row from Levy and opting not to swing there. Atomica Gamer, thank you for the follow. Good to see you there. Eggshell will be copying Banishment because it is the only valid target there, and that puts you down to 2,000 life points for a Destiny draw. Let's see, what do you... Right, you add Nastin there. I would think that is the last Dark Lord card you can add, considering that Sanctified is set, Contact is in the grave. You already dropped the Desire. You already have the Tez in hand. It's not a whole lot of things you can really search there, so... D-draw. No materials yet for a Levy. Let's see. So he thought about it. Let's see what the card really is. Gonna keep a close eye to see if it's a back row or perhaps something along the lines of a Levy next turn. Oh, it is a DD Crow activated on the Ancient Rules. That puts the third material in the grave for Levy, which he already had in the hand. Let's see it, and not only see it, but see the resolve against 3 back row. What do we have here? We do know there's one Tez in hand as well for Yatila, so... Targets the Blights, and the middle set, so nothing from the side of Levy to activate there, and even destroys the bluffed cards of Consonance. But still, the Eggshell attack is lethal if it goes through. Will it go through? No, it won't. So he still had something up his sleeve to try to deal with a potential lethal there. Puts Eggshell back to face down, meaning that Sanctified, if discarding Tez, wouldn't be able to get revived afterwards. The Tez, that is. Let's see. Levy, only 3 cards left in hand with just 1 Bloise in the grave, so he opened a lot of the cards that you would use to extend yourself with, such as cards of Consonance or Ancient Rules. Oh, Treacherous Trap Hole! He actually did have that. Opted to put Eggshell to face down, however, which is a good play considering that he knew that Tez was in the hand. Sanctified is still a threat, unless it's Blue Eyes we are talking about on the field. Ancient Rules has already been used, we do not know if he runs more copies, and even then he still has to have top decked into another Blue Eyes. We do know he isn't running, he doesn't have another in the hand, considering that the Ancient Rules was used for the most top decked Blue Eyes there. Oh my god, he has Ancient Rules, number 2. Dragon Spirit of White, sadly. Or happily, depending on how you look at it, because you do end up banishing the Sanctified there. Discarding Nastin. Does gain the life points. Discarding Nastin there is pretty interesting. Still gets to keep the Tez for a follow-up. Ooh, stick right at the top. and chair in hand. That's a GG. You go into whatever you want. Deltaros, Thunder, Spark Dragon, into Roboros. Pretty much anything you want because Dragon Spirit of White has no chance. Like, if he had the Blue Eyes in hand to tag out into, he would have just summoned the Blue Eyes in the first place and go for game there. So there's Deltaros destroying the dragon, and that's game. Has to be. So yet again, not the best hand from Levi, but still almost managed to make it work despite the disadvantage there in card economy. So let's see what his second deck would be there. Saw from the first player, Alpha, Onomats and Sidra. Usually pretty high roll pair, I would say. Didn't really pay off, but now HeyZZy is back to take it up to a more up to a better par for Modern Empire. Let's see. Levi's back on the table. And let's go. Levi's still on the bottom with Yamayugi. Alright, if this is a mirror, you already know. Banishment on the side of HeyZZy, getting out the eggshell, just cycling through the deck is one of the best pros of anything ran with Dark Lords. Honestly, you end up getting not only the negates off of the Sanctified, but also just big bodies on the board, and even removal in the form of targeted non-destruction of Desire. There's always also the Nastan OTK potential with any normal summon, so ends up on the same setup as the last turn with Eggshell, summon off of the contact with presumably, I would say, a Sanctified face down. We do not know if it's a Sanctified, considering he did search the Nastan. But does have, at the very least, the Banishment as well from hand. Alright. While on the other side of the table, Levi discarding the Desire is not what you really want to see. Unless it goes into Stick and Chair. But the Sanctified face down will just say no to that. Discarding the Nastan there. No chair to be summoned. Nastan, however, will be summoned. Ooh, discards the Banishment and the Sanctified, so already puts some cards to try to deal with HeyZZy's next turn. If HeyZZy does have a stick as well. Or rather, not just stick, but if he had his Eggshell destroyed this turn. But there's no real way for that to happen, considering that it did get negated. Will negate the Nastan as well. Gain even more life points and denying that search that Levi would have loved to get off that contact maybe and survive just a tad bit longer. But even then, he would have activated it anyway due to the Destiny draw. Let's see how many materials he's got in the grave. Just one. It's not enough for a Levi against Levi. But still, let's keep a track on what that card is. Could just easily draw into a banishment. Get off again the Sanctified. Although he does have one engrave already, so. Contact to summon Nastin, unless negated by Levy with his own Nastin. Levy does have quite a few options there. Could go for the negate and try to not get OTK this turn. Or could even just go for a search and discard Tez and just hope you draw into a contact with the Destiny draw. But still, that doesn't really do much in the grand scheme of things. Let's see what he's got after that D-draw. Aston will end up activating the effect to negate the eggshell. DD Crow. That was the Destiny Drew card to deal with the Nastin effect there. And just get rid of the Sanctified as a whole. So DD Crow, really good and probably underrated card to really D-draw into, considering that it did manage to actually win these two duels for Modern Empire. Attila further extending into Desire that will be gained. So Attila putting a mark there. Getting the much needed wins for Modern Empire to stabilize in the game. Let's see what kind of deck we'll be expecting next. Do have a lot of regulars, I would say, from the Divine side. People that usually play every week, like Victor. Not quite familiar with the other side of things with Modern Empire though, so. Let me download, or rather, yeah, I'll be checking the division standings, and I will show them on screen in a moment. Just need to save this in the right place. Alright, now let's go to the graphics. Alright, that should be it. So we have Divine on the 6th place with 2-4. We're 0-4 at some point, so these last two wins were really good for them. And they're not even in the worst position on the RD front either, considering that they're only -6 with a 2-4 scoreline. Meanwhile, Modern Empire is in the same kind of place as FHX, another new team, as a matter of fact, in this division. They're both at the bottom of the division. Modern Empire looking for that win today and try at the very least to go 2-5 and have a better chance at the pairings, the Swiss pairings that we do in weeks 8 to 10. Nonetheless, we have the next contestant from the side of Divine, and boy oh boy, it's your boy Victor Lee. Let's go with Blue Eyes seemingly. So let's see how that fares against Star Seraphs. We haven't seen Mach thus far. Oh man, did I say Blue Eyes? I meant to say Dark Magician on Kaiba. Dark Magical Circle, add Navi. We're in for a long ride, boys. We're in for a long time and a good time. Let's see. So Eggshell gonna be dropping the banishment. That already tells me that there's another banishment in the hand. Chair normal summon. Chair off the top as well. Just another. That does put 2 bodies on the board, at the very least. It wouldn't be enough with a Navi there. A live Navi, that is. Navi, you just summon 2 Dark Magicians. But there seems to be no Dark Magician in the hand, so... only the back row. Stick. Stick, chair, DM, let's go. Chair. Let it go through. Do we have Sanctify there? No, or seemingly not at the very least. I could have opted to just let this go through, but with every card that Victor Lee draws, it's just gonna be another possibility for a Dark Magician. And if this summon goes through, rather the Exceeds summon goes through, which it won't, we could have seen Ouroboros or Deltaros, as well as 2 Dark Magicians, so... certainly not a good place to be in, really. So we have 4 chairs on the board, 1 stick. Will we see a 5th chair? And the 3rd chair, of that matter, from Yatila? Or just something to go into, using those chairs on the board. Nastin normal summon, in the form of 2 tributes, works as well. You do have Banishment live, but... oh, you also have the Levy live. Now this is where it gets pretty rough for Victor Lee. Could just be targeting both back rows there, considering that probably both are dead. Could just as well opt for 1 monster and 1 back row. Well, now you definitely do, due to the Book of Moon. Probably just go for the Navi, get rid of it, and 1 monster, but Victor could still be having that 1 stick, that 1 chair to go into something and draw yet again. Probably get another Dark Magician or a Navi. Do note that Navi is on the ban list, so we don't know the exact ratio of cards that that Victor Lee is running. Opts for the Scepter and the Magical Circle, so enters battle as well, although not possible to declare an attack this turn. Welcome, welcome, Frieza and Levi. Good to see you boys there. Has the 2nd circle, so in the end the hit on the circle didn't really pay off. And circle still has a really high chance to get into a Dark Magician there, or even a Navi. Will we see it though? This long of a delay usually means that they're either stacking. Alright, yeah. It is Dark Magician, yes. It is the Victor Lee Classic, I would call. The Stick Chair Dark Magician. He did win Meta Freakly yesterday or 2 days ago. I think yesterday against JK's Evil Eyes. So... Stick Chair Dark Magician. Let's go. sets one card alongside the activated Dark Magical Circle. Banishment. So he does have 2 attacks there, but still you would need a couple more to try to really... You don't know if the navigation is live right now, and if it is live, then Dark Magical Circle will just banish one of the monsters and then negate one of the spells and trap for the next turn if it goes through. And it should be going through there, considering that the monsters are destroyed, but nothing in the end phase. That just tells me there's no Dark Magician just yet. Pass. Oh man, that was a really quick pass. Is there anything that Victor Lee has in this moment to, in the form of a back row card, to try to deal with what HeyZZy is putting onto the field? We should be safe to say that this rightmost card is Navi, but the leftmost card, that's what's bothering HeyZZy right now. Destiny draws well to be triggered. Could opt once again to draw into Crow and be safe for out of a Navi, but yeah, the best there would just be Scepter, because this way you at least get lethal with any combination of the 2 high attack monsters and the stick. So lethal through Book of Moon. Let's see. So there's Book of Moon, as expected. Oh, and the Dark Illusion right off the top to be a wall, really, for these turns to follow. Naston, sadly not having anything to activate just yet, aside from the face down Sanctified. Just put that Naston into the grave, you dodge the circle removal this way, and you gain some life points in the end. It's more Dark Lord effects for later on, especially the Sanctified. Right, Victor Lee. 9th card to be drawn, which is a stick. At this point you really hope to just draw as many cards as possible, but Fiendish Chain to be used to just throw that out the window and not get any more cards drawn. Thank you for a follow, Kavo. Right, we'll be going for the offensive there, Victor, with attacking into both. And Duel Links Team Wars is running with a party of 54. Thank you for the raid, Radlup. It's much appreciated. Hello everyone. It's the match of the week there. HeyZZy, Victor Lee. You rated at the best time, because the god himself is playing against HeyZZy, who did manage to climb back after an 0-2 deficit after quite a few sad hands off of Alpha's Onomats and Cyber Dragon starting decks. Welcome, welcome, Effa, I see. Rel up as well. Yeah, quite the best timing, I would say. Playing his signature deck, Stick and Chair, Dark Magician as well, so we are not missing much. He hasn't resolved any navigation thus far, and we know he had one on turn 1 set. This is still a navigation, most likely, with no valid target just yet, but still not lethal as well. And I don't think he's revealed his skill yet, although probably could be beat down. It's realistic that beat down could be the only thing. I'm not sure if Kaiba does get level tuning, but probably not. Scepter drawn right up the top once again, this time without any finish chain to be interrupting it. Chair. I believe this is his last chair. Yeah. Interesting that he didn't activate it. Opts to suicide into the scepter. And that's it. All right, so we'll be one down for Victor Lee there. Now we're on the lookout to see if he will actually be repeating or not. If he thinks that stick in chair Dark Magician would be the best answer, considering that they did have the counterpick advantage to Yatila, could very well be looking for that repeat to be announced anytime soon. But if not, that's also just as fine. If his other deck also has just as good of a matchup. Let's see. So very busy day today for Team Wars, but I believe, alright, it will be a repeat. On the side of Divine. So repeat meaning that once you go 0-1 only, you get to forbid playing your second deck in order to replay your first. So it is a really good element of the Team Wars format for the counterpick to actually succeed in doing what it should be doing. So they sent in Stick and Chair DM, didn't pay off, but the repeat could be paying off. Thank you for the follow, Serta. Stick, chair, combo, let's go. And there you have. Star Seraphs being used as an engine to draw into Dark Magician and whatnot. Oh, Jumpy as well with the raid. Thank you so much for the raid, 15. You tuned in at the best moment. Divine versus Modern Empire. Yatila currently on a little streak against Divine. Managed to knock out Levy and one deck life from Victor Lee, as well as forcing a repeat. So make sure to check both Rattlup and Jumpy's channels in the chat. Just click on them. Just click follow. Navi to be used in the end phase after the Ouroboros test discard. So it's pretty good discard, I would say. Considering that, well, probably not a really good discard, but thankfully didn't have any stick nor chair in hand to try to combo off with. Or probably just a chair and no stick, same thing. This is most likely a chair. Fiendish on the Ouroboros. Could be looking to negate it. And indeed he will. Chain will be resolving, so the face down will be returned to hand, as well as allowing the Ouroboros to attack this turn. If it does, there's one attack that does trigger Destiny Draw. Will it matter? No, it won't. Because Ouroboros will be attacking once again for game. So Victor Lee quickly finishing Yatila there. And yeah, putting it back to an even 3-3 after quite a rough time for Divine with his 3-0. Alright, let's see. They're back on the table. So make sure everyone from the chat to get acquainted with Teamworks by writing one of those commands in the bottom left corner. TW Discord, TW Twitter, and TW YouTube. So we will be having, first of all, let's swap them, because Victor is now on the top and HeyZZy is now on the bottom. HeyZZy presumably running the Blue Eyes. We see the Ultimate Dragons. Victor Lee only setting 2, so no stick combo with the chair. So we have a lot of Victor Lee fans. Let's see if this support reaches out to him. Book of Moon, obviously, because the only time you would face up someone Whitestone first is to actually sage after. Ancient Rules, though, straight into the battle. Probably could afford to take this deck, because it does put him down to 1000, but due to the stick and chair engine, he could be obviously going into Utopia Ray for a game as well through the Blue Eyes, as long as he does have the combo, that is. Let's see if he's got it or not. If not, what else would you really do there? HeyZZy should be looking pretty safe for a Synchro Summon next turn as well. Navi to be activated. Is the leftmost card from his hand a Dark Magician monster? Or did he perhaps just keep the Navi for a later time? Has to use the Navi there as some form of stalling tactics, I suppose you can say. Could even opt for Draco Sack there. Draco Sack obviously summoning the two tokens and destroying Blue Eyes with one of them. However, still doesn't really play around the Sage that HeyZZy seems to have had in his hand, considering the normal summon of Ancient Stone. Yeah, it is Kaiba DM. Speaking of Kaiba, like, he is one of the characters with beatdown, so he could realistically just get over the Blue Eyes. Still though, that face down Ancients must be really annoying there for Victor. Considering that whatever it summons, it will be higher than Dark Magician. We'll be opting for the Magician of Dark Illusion, and we'll be going for the beatdown. So we'll be keeping that Navi in the grave in case something like a Cards of Consonance occurs, and even has another face down, so if that face down is another Book of Moon, that would be really ideal for Victor Lee. And it is. Still though, there's still the potential of normal summoning another stone, or perhaps just a Sage. So did have the Sage, adds the second stone, and has another Sage for that as well, to go into a Blue Eyes monster. Keep in mind that the beatdown obviously is once per duel, can only gain that 600 with 2 level 7 monsters once per duel. So now there's little to no way to get over the Blue Eyes through normal means, through normal battle means. We'll be destroying the face down stone, which will be putting another Blue Eyes onto the field. Karma Cut to try to get rid of the Dark Magician, but obviously will be negated. However, does discard another stone. So that puts 2 stones into the grave, just like that. And honestly, it's going to be very rough for Victor to do anything in this situation. No stick, no chair, means just no draw power for the pretty slow engine of Dark Magician. No circle. Pretty much his back row, or his starting hand was Book of Moon, Navi, and 1 Dark Magician monster, so not enough. Not enough to deal with what Attila had to offer. So that will be the end for Victor Lee for this time. Thank you for the follow, Lancaster. Salve. Victor wanting to Attila really... Oh, what did I do? Attila really putting in the work there as the first counter pick. So yeah, let's just check the division standings once again to just see how important this match really is for both teams. It is safe to say that Modern Empire is out of the playoffs, considering that an XM5 record doesn't really make the cut. And Divine, like, yeah, with as good of an RD that it really is. -6 is pretty good RD for 2 and 4. It is just... It is a must-win match, I feel like, for Divine there. But for Modern Empire as well, even though they're out of playoffs, it's still, for the Swiss groups, just that little... just a little extra there. So yeah, SEM really a surprise, I would say, this season. A lot of thank you for follow Yummy School. So yeah, a lot of interesting data there, but let's see if we can get back into the game. Prince K will be the next player coming from the side of Divine. let's see. Alright, sorry about that. We will be seeing Harpies, and had a pretty good starting hand with the Channeler. Obviously, a 1.5 card combo to get quite a few pluses. Now, because he's running Yugimuro, we could safely say that he's running the Titan Binds, not Yami. Yugimuro doesn't have a level Og. There's the Cyber slash Harpy Lady, and also has the Neos Fusion. So just now I noticed that he has the higher deck size. Higher deck size is indicative of Neos Fusion variant. What happened to Victor Free? Well, he did also use a repeat. So he was initially 0-1 with Stick and Chair, Dark Magician, his freakly winning archetype from yesterday. Not sure if it's the exact build, who knows. But managed to only get one win. Still, it's not the end of the world for Divine, considering that Prince K did establish quite an okay board for Harpy Ladies. Has the follow-up next turn with Channeler. Still, there's the alternative to Fear right now for Prince K. Let's see. Fiendish to be used, and will also return, so that's the alternative cannot be summoned once again in the same turn. Let's see, is there any other type of follow-up to this? There perhaps even setting a stone is fine if he cannot get rid of it with back row. Does have 2 back row. Perfumer to be coming down to the field. Probably will be searching for the Egotist. Not sure how many rest do you really run, but the Titan Binds will go through, and that's 2 attacks using any combination of monsters to... Ooh, Shadow Imprisonment Mirror. Okay, that's a nice card there. Too bad it doesn't really do anything. So that's going to be the end of Yatilla there. Managing an impressive 4-2 now. Score line. Really saving Modern Empire after the 0-2 deficit, and even putting them back to the counter pick advantage. That's very good. Let's see what are they gonna bring next. So I'm already seeing Nate in the room. should be looking to enter anytime soon. And that was quite a quick switch, and this telegraphs that Modern Empire was actually ready for, or rather had the counter pick ready for Harpies. Last week it did not do all too well, Harpies that is. But yeah, I'm gonna bring up the meta-analysis pretty soon. Let's see. So Nate with Yuma. 20 cards only, so not 22, the usual ratio that Thunder Dragons run. Still, Channeler to discard the Perfumer. Thank you for the follow, VDX. Perfumer, gonna be adding the rest. Should be looking to go into that Cyber Slash. Harpy Lady. Neos Fusion once again, so gonna be sending that Harpist for a follow-up next turn. Still has fodder for the rest as well. Obviously activating the Neos Fusion first, sending the one of maybe two of Harpist to don't draw into it. One set and the second set. Is there a third? No. Harpist will be searching the Channeler. So that's the follow-up for the next turn. Quite another good turn one board from Prince K. Let's see. HeyZZy. It's a really good response there. Basically, you have to have Trinade in order to win with Onomats in this instance. Still, Neos Fusion is in the grave, so he's gonna have to make something like an M7 or a Spider to try to deal with that in case he wants to OTK. But if he wants to OTK, he's gonna need a really specific hand, I feel like, to be able to OTK through this. There's always the Bolt. Onomatopoeia. Thank you for a follow, Elia. Good to see you there. Onomatopoeia to summon the sister and the glove. So he's looking to make that M7 return, most like the Neos Fusion, the Brave Neos that is, not the Neos Fusion. Has sufficient attack as well to get over the Cyber Slash. Thank you for the follow, Hans. Glove, oh, even has a target in the hand. There's the coat. So should be looking for a lethal there. Just going to Spider, I guess, and that's it. So he did have the ideal hand for the OTK there. Just having to shuffle away the draw and the coat. The second coat that is, and add the Onomatopoeia and the gloves. So just like that. You thought Prince K would be safe with two back row, the Cyber Slash and the Neos with the Neos Fusion in the grave. That just unfortunately wasn't enough to make the cut. It's already down to Prince K's second deck. Harpy is often good for streaking, but just falling off too short, sadly. Let's see what Prince K's second deck is then. Should be looking like Blue Eyes, just based on the character. Yep, Blue Eyes. Matching sleeves as well from both players. Dollar draw, discarding the Onomatopoeia. Let's see what he can make out of that, because I'm not sure if Onomatopoeia is your best discard there. Although it is like a universal Onomat monster, you'd rather have that gloves to be sent, or even Buster. Even Buster could be a target if he runs it, that is. Let's see. Currently assessing the options, so went for the draw instantly before the Onomato play. Reveals Bolt and draw. That's a really bad hand. And as the coat and the sister, so that's the usual turn 1 board of just bouncer and pass. Curious to see if he also has head in the hand. Gagaga sister, add Gagaga Bolt, Zubaba Bancho, Gagaga coat, reveal itself, summon, just the usual effect, summon the Onomatopoeia back. Let's see. Expecting it to be the bouncer. Set 3, oh well. We know at the very least he's got a bolt within those sets, but the others are just unknowns. Bluffs could be more. Hmm. 5 cards in hand for Prince K. Should be pretty hard to play with just 3 set cards. Oh my god, Lightning Vortex. You don't often see this happening, but when it does, oh man, does it really sting. All monsters sent to the grave. Discarding stone as well, so even has that possibility to go into the Dragon Spirit of White and just banish one back row. Let's see if he hits the right one. One of them is Bolt. Oh, hits the Trinade. At this point, like you really would have loved that Trinade. Sister there at least enables Bolt or Onomatopoeia if he runs multiples. Oh my god, the Gaga head top deck. Exactly what you are looking for if you are Nate there. Oh man. Will it go through? That's the question. Is there anything from the side of Prince K? What is that back row? Just like that, Onomats came back into the game after a successful head effect. Still, there's one bolt in the grave. Yeah, unfortunately, Trinade would have been a really good card to keep in hand, I would say. Like, even if it wasn't the target there, still would have been the best to keep it in the hand. Book of Moon after the sister effect, gonna be disabling any type of Xyz summon. So still, the only thing looking out for would be a bolt onto the Dragon Sphere of Void, but then you have to deal with a Blue Eyes if that happens. So there it is, the bolt. If there's a Blue Eyes, there is no Blue Eyes seemingly. So it will be just straight out to the battle. Thank you, Victor, for that. Going with everything that that Divine has, sending out the rest of the reinforcements. So let's see if the rest of the reinforcements will be in the form of Prince K's second deck being able to win against Onomats, or perhaps another from Divine with the direct counterpick to Onomats. If there is one remaining, that is, with only 4 decks remaining, there's not a highest chance. Thank you for the follow, Darkness, Tony. Seemingly, yeah, it was not the best hand, I would say. Just the Vortex, discard the stone, and set the book. Right, so because he added it back, he had to have had the Ancient Rules in the hand. So if that's another bluff, that's yet another successful Dragon Spear of White effect banishing back row that would have been very needed. But this time it's not the case. It is actually a chainable back row in the form of offerings, which will work. Or rather, we'll go through. Sage, normal summon. What do you hope for there? He has to have a second Sage if that... if he chooses to keep the Sage in. Yeah. There you go. You have the second Sage. But this is pretty much an all-in play, I feel like, from Prince K. There's really not much you can hope to do there. What do you even attack, really? Guess you just attack the coast and hope for... oh yeah, offerings. Still, what if there is a threat of the potential rank 8 in the form of Heliopolis? Still no. Alright, there is no threat of that. Although you probably don't really even need to go into that in the first place. So just like that, Prince K already has turned the tide around, and it is now in his favor. Even more so now with one. Can even opt to go into Vermilion there if you really wanted to, instead of a Spirit. But still, there's just nothing you can help make with head in this instance. Let's see. Just a set, so yeah, has been looking very dire for Nate for the past couple of turns. Just very little, even with the Gaga head top deck. even opting to go for another Synchro Summon. It's just too much. Even Melody. Surely going for that alternative summon for lethal. Yeah. And there you go. So Prince K managing to climb back after the less than impressive starting hand, I would say. Ultimate Dragons as well. Really going on for the stall points there. We're gonna see the Neo. Of course we're gonna see the Neo. Let's go, Prince K. Just show it to us. You go Shokan. Blue Eyes Ultimate. I didn't have the animation on. Come on. I need to enable. Man. Come on. Really showing off, yeah. That was any gasps in the chat? Any D colon? That was a yikes from Prince K. Really setting the tone for this next duel, because the loser will be knocked out of the room. Let's see. Nate switching back to his second deck. And yeah, let's see. Blue Eyes against a pair with Blue Eyes, so probably Star Seraph Dark Lords, indicative from Yami Yugi. Let's see. This time has a more decent hand, I would assume, with the Sage, as well as material for the Synchro Summon. Let's watch the animation. There you go, alternative. Spirit. And just one set, so still a pretty good board. Still, 5 cards from the side of Nate. And there's Banishment. Probably gonna be adding that Eggshell in case he doesn't have it already. Nassen. Obviously already had the Eggshell. Still, discarding the Nassen. Probably not the best card you want to discard in this place. What do we have there? So he was really hoping perhaps to draw into a stick and chair combo, but still with one back row at Prince K's disposal. Probably not looking too ideal. There's the Scepter. Is there the chair? No. He's just gonna be searching it. Vortex as well to be activated. That's an order. What do you even discard? Do you just discard a chair? I guess you just discard a chair. So he did need that normal summon Scepter. We'll be going through, so... Oh man, that's a really weird way to start this duel from the side of Nate. Just that, one set. Cards of Consonance will at least get some extension, but no. It's just gonna be the Dragon Spirit. Oh my god, banishing the banishment. That's another hit that you really don't want to see banished. Seemingly Nate didn't really learn from the last duel to not really set the bluff back row. Let's see. Nate, 3 cards in hand. Safe to say that stick chair won't be happening soon without another stick in this moment. Contact has Eggshell and Neston in the grave. Has the banishment as well. Has some normal summon for a potential desire if need be. But probably should be looking to add that perhaps that Sanctified. Not quite sure. You do set up your Soulful Destiny draw next turn. Tez. Yeah, so he is planning to stand a chance in the future turns. Oh, yeah, so he did have Desire in the hand already. Should be lethal if this goes through. Although I'm pretty sure he's already got a Blue Eyes in hand. Ooh, TDH. That's a good TDH if it weren't for the fact that there's already a Tez in the hand and he targets both Dark Lord monsters. Instead of a Dark Lord and the stick. It's not really what you want to see. There's the discard of the Tez, and still seemingly lethal if there is no Blue Eyes in the hand. But there is, obviously. Probably not the most ideal to force there. Could have also just attempted to run off by battle. Or just sit on the 3000 attack Desire. At the same time, getting out the Blue Eyes onto the field means one less copy of Blue Eyes for either the alternative or the ultimate dragons. So, still something that could be easily remedied by just having a tuner and going into a synchro summon. There's no real threat right now in the grave either using a Dark Lord effect. There's cards of Consonance. Ooh, Lightning Vortex. That's gonna be game. Just like that. Lightning Vortex yet again. Putting Prince K up on the top. And that's it. That's game. I think that banishment hit really hurt once again for the side of Modern Empire. I still cannot believe, like, Lightning Vortex just main decked into this Blue Eyes. Snock, thank you for the follow. Finally putting Divine back in the lead. Let's see if I don't have the meta analysis done up on the screen. Let me see if I can get it real quick. Hello, hello, welcome. Alright, now I have it ready. Let's alright, so the other person didn't yet join the room. So there we have Seraph Dark Horse being very played with 212 representations within Team Wars, with Blue Eyes being the next closest one in the form of 175. If we count without mirrors, we only have 136 and 115 matches. And then the next best is 28 with Harpies. And I noted earlier that Harpies didn't really have the most ideal win rate due to the common consensus was poor deck building. But now, after a couple events and just a couple more theory crafting, Harpies has been shown some good results. So yeah, pretty interesting stuff with Cyber Dragons as well being the next most played deck, and Fire Kings being gone off the face of the earth, which is sad because I love Fire Kings. Nonetheless, let's go back to the room. We have Blister coming in for Modern Empire. Let's see if he is capable of stopping Prince K's little streak. Duel. 30 cards with HeyZZy, and he's also going first. So 30 cards usually aren't seeing that in decks that aren't Harpies, I would say. I think the educated guess there is that it is Harpies. Which it is. Perfumer. Decent starter. Thinking about it. Has the rest and also has the sign. I suppose the best board you can really hope for to get is just having the Raigeki break. Raigeki break not only being used to stop the Synchro Summon if need be, but also trigger your own sign. But instead we will be seeing the Abyss Dweller with 2 sets. Two sets. Abyss Dweller. That's pretty interesting. Just as interesting as Melody discarding Unknown Ancients. So that's one card in the form of Melody that doesn't work. That would, if you discard Ancients with it, then you're safe. But Abyss Dweller would just be saying no. Thankfully, it wasn't the case for him to discard Ancients and just be going into the Abyss Flare. Cards of Consonance. so still won't be working in the end phase to be summoning a Blue Eyes. 2 back row. Is there a normal summon tuner or not? Alright. Blaster as well, not activating anything just yet. Thinking about it. Setting a monster doesn't look the best. Now it's just a game of trying to guess what kind of back row does each player have. Prince K using the effect of alternative to destroy the Harpy Lady 1. Harpy Lady 1 is certainly not what you want to see, considering that was your second one. Moonlit Knight, thank you for the follow. Ultimate Dragons in the hand to be activated. It's quite interesting. Are you opting to go for Neo there? Lance. Oh my god. Well, that I mean, you won't get to use that as a material for the Neo Blue Eyes, but there's still Twinverse to deal with. Does Blaster have the right tools to deal with Burst as well? Oh, never mind. He already had the 3 Blue Eyes in hand. It's okay, boys. Considering he lands that, it tells me that he doesn't have an out to Neo. And that's it. Prince K, once again, delivering. Alright, and there will be a repeat for the side of Modern Empire, so... Let's change that. And let's see a rematch of Harpies against Blue Eyes. As noted earlier today when I casted, a lot of teams seem to have a pretty... all over the spectrum, I would say, as far as countering Blue Eyes or Harpies is concerned, because a lot of teams repeated Harpies or repeated Blue Eyes into Harpies, but other teams just chose not to repeat. So it's really interesting to see the meta-analysis for this week, just to see how the win rate against Blue Eyes or against Harpies, depending on which of the two you're looking at, win rate is concerned. Channeler is a really good starting tool for Harpies. Probably not when discarding Rest. Will be an Exceed summon. Abyss Dweller once again, and 1 back row. I'm not sure if going for Dweller is really the best that you can hope for, because if anything, last duel, there's just that slight possibility of your opponent not caring if you use Abyss Dweller to not summon 1 Blue Eyes from the deck. There's still so much more to deal with Blue Eyes, rather than what Blue Eyes can offer than just a stone sent to the grave. So let's see if there's anything past the Dweller effect. Maybe the back row is really good. Maybe he's got a discardable back row in the form of Sign, or in the form of Break, for example, or Karma Cut, and you get to get the Sign off. Harpist will be triggered at the very least, thanks to Dweller getting out that Perfumer. And there's the Raigeki break that I was talking about. So what are you going to discard there? Another Raigeki break, that's not the best. Treacherous Trap Hole anyway to target the monsters. The base will be putting the second Harpy Lady monster into the grave. Perfumer, is there an OTK? Has a rest. Egotist as well. Should be an OTK. Or no, he needs a third monster. Yeah, I suppose you just go into Cyber Slash there. Get the monsters in the grave and just hope for the best to try to get something out of the draws. There's a sign. So he has the Elegant Egotist. It's really ideal there. Interesting that he added it from the graveyard, so probably indicative of the fact that he runs only one. Let's see. Is it lethal? No delay, no nothing, lethal. So that's the 6th point for Modern Empire, finally managing to break down Prince's streak. And that's it for him. We have 2 more remaining in the form of Viper and Black Snake, both with similarly inspired nicknames that allude to snakes. Are they going to be the difference makers in this match? Perhaps. They only have 3 decks remaining to defeat, so it's not a hard task. While Modern Empire as well doesn't have the worst task as well, just 4 decks remaining. Although now you have the counterpick disadvantage. This far late into the match, maybe they wouldn't have the required deck to deal with Harpies. Let's see. Just waiting for the next player. In the meantime, maybe we can just switch to the meta-analysis, maybe see more of it. See more of the other decks that were being played, such as Amazons. They're not really the best against Seraph Dark Lords. Not against Blue Eyes either, but it's just very few representations. I still cannot really believe it. 212 representations of Dark Lords. 38 mirrors. That's a lot. I don't know, guys, but what was your what was the match you were looking forward to the most out of today? Let's see some of the matches that went down previously, um, and this week, and this day rather. So we had Garuda versus Banana Rampage. I casted that and that was really such a good match. We also had Lost Tribe against FHX, Sun Clan versus SCM, Sensei versus Fallen Angels, and Claw Clan versus Tier 0. I believe the one I would have been looking for the most would have been Claw Clan versus Tier 0. Ended up with the win in the favor of Claw Clan, 10-8. As always, if you want to see every single result, every single report of a match, make sure to join the Discord server. In the bottom left corner, you have the info. And yeah, let's get into the next duel. So on the side of Divine, we have Black Snake. Let's see what he's gonna bring up to the table. Star Seraph one time. Eggshell draw, discarding the Desire. It's not the most ideal card to discard once again, but as long as it goes, as it gets you to the banishment and the stick and chair, I don't think it's a problem. Just gonna keep on drawing. Ought to be ripping one card from the hand as well. There's a lot of traps not in the trap card sense of the word that you can hit with Ouroboros discard hand grip effect. You don't want to discard that sign or the harvest. Let's see what the discard will be. Elegant Egotist, so that's a pretty good hit, I would say, because it is an extender, but you could get it back. You know, it's not the end of the world. Eggshell, one effect to pay 1000, getting the Sanctified out, really good. Because now Harpies are really gonna be needing that Lance or that Swallow's Nest, and the odds of having that as well as, I don't know, a Channeler or... Alright, there's the Channeler. Should be waiting for that discard first. It's one less card to be worried about. Well, it is a Harpist, so... Lance. Alright. Is the other back row chainable? Or rather, not even chainable, just able to deal with Channeler, but sadly, not really. Still has one more negate at his disposal. Now, surely going to be negating the Perfumer. No follow-up, no extension for you, Blaster. It's just gonna be more life points and more advantage. 2000 life points cost, quote-unquote, for the Destiny Draw has been paid. The materials are pretty much in the grave for the Levy to swing in, say hello, and just end the duel if Bluster doesn't take care of that. So there's the Exceed summon into number 70. That's going to be Malevolence in the Spider. And it's gonna get Karma Cut. So, oh, already had the Levy, but yeah, not much to say there. Does have some fodder at the very least for a discard, but still Destiny draw. I don't know, pal. I don't know. Has contact. Could just draw into a banishment to get sanctified once again. And Ouroboros will be forcing this back row, so if this goes through its game, doesn't even need to reveal the card he just de-drew. Raigeki Break though, to be used. Eggshell, doing Eggshell Dark Lord things. Contact, get a second Dark Lord on the field. And there's the banishment that was Destiny drew into. He doesn't have the desire, because he did discard it with Eggshell earlier on, so there is no lethal this turn. But even then, searching the Sanctified, having another search, it's just too much. It's just too much to deal with for Harpy, sadly. So Black Snake looking for that 8th win in the match. Sign. What does that do really? You just add the Egotist back to hand. Sadly no. That would have been really useful last turn, but considering that Harpist doesn't add Sign, you know, yeah. It is what it is. It is game for Black Snake. And just like that, we are on the 8th match point, or rather 8th point for within the match for Divine. Black Snake coming in, taking care of the Harpies, and still having one deck left in the back. Well, let's see, so Brian has to sack and live up to his name, pretty much. Sack through Black Snake's both decks, as well as Viper's both decks. So we just have to wait and see until he's onto the table. Alright, I'm back. Welcome Hideki. It's been a while. So now we got Saki Brian onto the table. Gonna be starting anytime soon. Let's see. Both of their names start with an initial like that, B and S. Or the reverse of S and B. Banishment to start it off. Discarding the Naston off of that. Stick. Surely must be having, or not really, the chair in hand as well. Just gonna be it. One set alongside the stick. I don't know. I don't know if it can really hold up against Blue Eyes there. You're just pretty much letting Blue Eyes play. Unless the set is sanctified. Or a book, perhaps. Oh, Black Snake is on the bottom, so... Saki Brian on the top. There's White Stone normal summon, that's indicative of a Sage in hand. If this goes through, so most likely no Book of Moon face down. So there's the Blue Eyes animation. Pretty cool stuff. And that's just gonna be it. One Blue Eyes and one back row. With the White Stone in the end phase. Dragon Spiral White is not going to be summoned. It's kind of weird that... Man, imagine what kind of hand that must have been. Stone, Dragon Spirit of White, one back row and two other unknowns. Scepter, the second one. We don't know he has a chair in hand, so if this goes through successfully, should be looking pretty bad for Blue Eyes because Deltaros will be able to clear the whole field. Chair, once again. Draws. And there's the Karma Cut, so there's the response from Saki Brian, discarding the third Blue Eyes monster. So that's a Dragon Spirit of White in the hand. Contact, getting another. Yeah, that's a good card to have right there. The Contact. Set you up for Destiny Draw next turn as well. Banishment still being able to be activated. Adding Tez is the best choice there. You really want to preserve your monster, or at the very least have a throwaway Dark Lord, let's say, for a Sanctified. You don't want to drop that Nastin really. But I think he did drop it earlier. Yeah, with Eggshell. Stone from the grave. Looking to add that blue eyes. It's not the best still because you don't get to trigger your ultimate dragons that way. You still only have the dragon Spirit of White in the hand as well as the blue eyes. There's not much to go for in this instance. I wonder what the other hand card in hand is. It's the unknown one. If it's a tuner, it would be really ideal. Especially if it's ancients, because then you get to retrieve another blue eyes for ultimate dragons and try to do something out of that. Nonetheless, he will be going the hard way into Twin Burst. Will that be it? Did he top into a back row maybe? Or is this fully it? So we gotta remember that Snake has an unknown back row alongside the Sanctified. Set monster. It's probably a tuner, so didn't want there to go into a Synchro Summon. And if it is an Ancients, then you have nothing to go into anyway. Will this attack go through? Sanctified. Discarding Tez. So you won't be able to keep up that Eggshell. At the very least, we'll be able to still keep his chairs. I do believe, yeah, he has used 2 sticks, but with the Destiny Draw, I think this should be it. Just de-draw into that that stick and Deltaros. Oh, he already had the stick in hand, so the card top decked has to be Levy. Top decked, I mean, Destiny Drew. Just going to Deltaros there. And then Levy for the game. Triple material, rank 4, incoming. It's the Deltaros. Imagine if we had like Trevor in the game. I'm not sure if Trevor is generic or not though. Just imagine Stick and Chair being able to summon Trigger. That would be something. For those that don't know, Trigger returns every single card on your opponent's side of the field to the hand. Not sure if also your own, aside from Trigger. Nonetheless, there's Levy, the Drew Levy. Banishment as well. I'm not quite sure there what happened there, Pompey, so could have also went into a Synchro Summon and perhaps dodge something, but at the end of the day you still have 2 back row to worry about. I don't know. Nonetheless, will be the 9th point for Divine there. Putting Divine on match point against Modern Empire. So they really have to try to get a little more wins. Maybe even reverse sweep if they can. There's no repeat announcement, so it's gonna be switching back to his second deck. Let us see. Will it be the mirror?
Duel.
Of course. So we will be seeing the banishment, adding the eggshell, as always. Gonna have to set up that draw 2 for the stick and chair combo. Discarding the desire once again. It's almost like it's glued to everyone's hand. I really don't want to see that. Stick has been drawn though. No chair. And that's gonna be it. So just like last game, from the perspective of Snake, I believe it was just 1 with 1 scepter and 1 back row. If that back row, however, is something along the lines of a Sanctified or a Book of Moon, could be looking to stop Snake's turn right there. Stick chair combo resolves, summoning the chair, and once again summoning the chair. And there's the Book of Moon, so we'll be able to take care of Black Snake's turn. Eggshell, discarding the Naston, drawing 2 more, so should be looking to draw into that back row to try to disrupt Brian's attempt at coming back. Let's see what the response is. Bookemon. I mean, man, just setting and setting. It feels like the hands of Modern Empire haven't been that great, at least in these past few duels. Somewhat unlucky. There's Deltaros. There's gonna be 1 destruction and another one from Deltaros' own effect. Sufficient material for Levy after that. With 8 cards remaining in the deck, Levy is not that unlikely. Banishment, gonna be adding the Sanctified, so reveals that the set card he has currently isn't Sanctified. It's another form of back row. Contact. Yeah, this tells me that he doesn't have the Levy to end the game. Still, that's more than enough, really, to have a good board and set yourself up for success for the next turn. And try to prevent Brian there from playing his own turn. Or you just have the desire already. Don't even remember when he searched it. Oh no, he already had it in hand, so that's that will be it. Black Snake managing to close it out 3-0 after a really good streak, I would say, set by Prince K. Sadly for Modern Empire, not enough. And yeah, right towards the end, they just crumbled a little. That was a really great game though, coming from both sides. (10-6). Viper as well, undefeated. He's the one that probably had the best match inside this Divine and Modern Empire match. Nonetheless, we're probably not gonna be interviewing because I have some urgent stuff to do. So I'm gonna be looking for someone to raid. Let me see any Duel Links streamers at the moment. Oops. I don't have anyone to raid, I think. Do you guys have any suggestions? Maybe another release. Wait, let me just search Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links and see who's live. So there's DLE, there's Steven Freshy, there's Laura Benz, there's Alsukan, I don't know him. There's Disturbia. Thank you for the follow, Alari. Yeah, thank you as well, boys, for coming in, and yeah, I guess we'll be raiding another smaller Duel Links streamer, so make sure to check them out. I was HeyZZy, and thank you for coming by. The next match will be starting at 4 PM EDT, so make sure you are there. See ya.